Welcome to the eBay is being expo host DG Sasso. I'd like to send a shout out to Crazy New York Driver for inspiring me to make this video. This is my first one. I'm a little nervous, I don't like talking to a wide audience, but I guess something has to be done about lately about selling on eBay. I'm a seller for a long time, about 11 years, and actually I'm a buyer too, but I sell just to make a little extra money to help pay the bills, and it's just getting harder and harder to deal with all the draconian rules that eBay keeps throwing our way, and it's like they change rules like they change their underwear. Every week, it seems like something else is thrown our way, some other kind of obstacle, or some kind of nasty kind of surprise. And, unfortunately, eBay is the only game in town. There's other sites, there's Etsy, there's Ruby Lane, there's eCrater, there's eBid, there's Bonanza, there's loads of them, but you know what, they're not getting any traffic. Nobody's buying from me on those sites. I do list my antiques with them. And eBay is, eBay's the one that gets all the traffic and sales. But unfortunately, most of the buyers now are becoming very wise, and they know how to get discounts. They know how to fraudulently scam sellers. eBay gives them the tools to do that, and it's just ridiculous. Unfortunately, I need to take PayPal because I'm such a small seller that a merchant account is too expensive for me, and I don't get enough volume in order to open up a merchant account. So PayPal, I'm stuck with this horror show. PayPal sucks. A lot of people say that, by the way. But it's just it's such a criminal operation. But eBay won't allow us to take money orders, checks, bank checks, Western Union, wire transfers. I understand that. Okay, they don't want their buyers to be subjected to fraud. I can understand that. Okay, it's their venue, it's their rules. But where's my protection as a seller? I'm no longer, I'm no longer protected. They just don't give a shit about us sellers, and I'm done. I've had enough. I'm thinking of just taking all my stuff and just liquidating it at my local New York auction house. Just unloading it all and just throwing the towel in. 11 years, but I'm garbage. I make about maybe $30,000 a year selling on eBay, so I'm small potatoes to them. They could care less about me. I'm not $1 million seller. I'm not Walmart. I'm not a big box store. And following these new rules are just getting harder and harder for me. I can barely make a profit as it is with the economy. I opened up my selling for about 8 years now to international buyers. I don't like doing that. That's suicidal. Selling internationally is very, very dangerous for U.S. sellers. There's a lot of scams. They could say they never received their item. They could file a SNAD, significantly not as described claim. They can do whatever they want. But I need to open up my items to as many buyers as possible because the economy, like I said, is in the shitter. So, like I said, it's just becoming ridiculous. Now they opened up a new rule. Like I said, like they changed their underwear. They keep changing the rules in buyers' favor. Pretty soon that they're going to be, possibly giving out partial refunds to the buyers. What does that mean? Well, okay, we're screwed. Okay, let's face it, we're totally screwed. I sell antiques. A lot of antiques, you really are not going to find a perfect antique that's over 100 years old. There's going to be slight little scratches or blemishes, or it might smell a little funky, but that's the nature of antiques. I do fully disclose in my descriptions every single thing. I put about maybe 30 photos sometimes of my very expensive items. I show every angle, every detail. I want my buyer to be into them, but what basically happens is that the buyer has tools to get a discount. That's what they want. They want to get their items for the least possible money, and they know how to work, they know how to play the game. They know how to get what they want. So what's this mean for sellers? Basically, if a buyer gets an item, say for $100, all I have to do is just howl to eBay. Oh, well, it has a little scratch. The seller wouldn't say, but I do want to keep it. But if the seller gives me back $30, I'll keep the item. Well, what's that mean? eBay is going to take $30 out of our account and give it to the buyer without asking us. Fine, you're not happy with an item. Do I like giving returns? No, I don't like giving refunds and having to return an item. But, okay, fine. Return your item. I'll give you a full refund plus return shipping. And that's that. But no, now they're going to possibly take money out of my account and give it to a buyer, and I have no say about it. What is going on here? This is really not, is this legal? It's not fair. I understand life is not fair. You sell on eBay, you're subject to their rules, but it's just absolutely ridiculous. Here's an example of what I have to go through on a regular basis with these buyers. Well, as a seller, I have about 1,200 positive feedbacks, 100% by the way, and I have great DSR stars, 4.9, 5.0 average in every category. I work hard to make my buyers happy. Well, this French buyer buys an antique doll for me for about, I think it was about $225, if I'm not mistaken. In my description, every one of my descriptions, I write in big, bold red letters, not responsible for customs VATs duties if you buy from me. You are responsible to pay these fees, and I write it 3 times in my listing. One right underneath the description, like I said, in bigger letters than the actual description, in red, bold letters. And then I write 2 other times in my description, in my TOS, and another part of my description. Well, the buyer leaves me a negative feedback without even contacting me first, and it was in French. I went to Google Translate, I translated it, and it said, very disappointed, customs holding up my item, and I have to pay taxes. How is that my fault when in my description, that's what I write? And when I send expensive items internationally, which by the way is suicidal, I ship out everything EMS airmail through USPS, and I fully insure it, and I disclose the full amount of the value, because I'm not taking any chances. And the buyer completely is responsible for these fees. I understand it's bullshit that they have to pay these taxes on an antique item over 100 years, but that's not my problem. So I called up eBay. I know there's a stipulation that if you get a negative feedback from the buyer because they had to pay taxes, duties, or VATs, that they will remove it. I got a nice clerk on the phone, and he said to me, okay, I see. He translated it in Google as well. He removed the negative feedback, and I was very lucky in this instance. But what about the next time? What if I get a negative from the buyer that had to pay these taxes, and they don't write that in the negative? Well, I'm not covered. Isn't that wonderful? That's just bullshit, okay? So, now, mind you, they removed the negative feedback from me. Okay, eBay, you got one point for that, okay? Because usually you don't protect the seller. 4 hours later, the buyer writes me a nasty email in French, so I translated it in Google Translate, and it said, I'm very disappointed. I had to pay 36 euros to pick up my package. This is not fair. I am completely angry. Okay, I wrote her back in French, very nicely, very diplomatically, that in my description I state 3 times in bold red letters that I'm not responsible for these fees. And I did tell her that was not very nice of you to leave me a negative feedback when these warnings are coldly displayed. And if in the future you're going to purchase items from U.S. sellers, to please keep this in mind, because it's not very fair to us. We have no control over this. And I never heard back from him. Okay, fine. I'm waiting for her probably to be spiteful and file a chargeback through PayPal, or to maybe file a SNAD, a significantly not as described, just to be a spiteful bitch. But that's another story. I'm just praying and hoping that this does not happen. But who knows? With my luck, I have no luck. Next, about 2 weeks ago, I sold another antique doll to a buyer in Canada, and shipping antiques is very expensive because they're usually oversized, and I fully insure them, and oversized packages always get charged more. So what happened is that what I usually do is I reuse packing materials. I'm a buyer as well, so whenever I receive something that has packing peanuts in it and bubble wrap, I put it on the side and I save it so I can reuse it. Now, it's not filthy, it's not dirty, it's fine. You know, I'm not giving somebody something with stains and nasty smells all over it. Well, the buyer got the item and sent me an email stating, basically she was unhappy because the packing peanuts smelled like smoke. I don't smoke, okay? And, look, I try to save my buyers money by reusing these materials. What happens is if I had to buy these materials, which I do on occasion, they're very expensive. And I don't want to have to pass this on to my buyer, because not only that, if they have to pay excess shipping money, they complain. They leave you low DSR scores, possible negative feedback. They're not happy because they had to pay shipping. Okay, you know what? This is another aggravation for sellers. I mean, I feel every time I log into my seller account, I feel like popping a couple of Xanaxes, because I never know who's going to complain and who's going to be a pain in the ass. So basically, I wrote it back explaining that, hey, look, I reuse the packing materials, and I don't know if they came from smokers' homes, and I apologize. Sounds like she was fishing for a partial refund. So I wrote, if you're unhappy with your item, please return it. I will give you a full refund, including original shipping, and I even offered return shipping. I was trying to be nice. Guess what? Never heard from her again. Obviously, she wanted a partial refund. But this is what what resellers are going through. It's baloney. I mean, now what am I going to have to do? Write stipulations in my TOS that packing materials are reused and they might smell like funky, cigarette smoke, which they don't, by the way, because I have a good nose and I know if something's stinky. So I mean, what am I going to do? I have to spray Febreze all over packing material because somebody might get annoyed by packing materials. I mean, this is bogus. This is bullshit. This is just absolute crap. So basically, these buyers are just becoming very problematic. They're becoming bottom feeders. eBay is attracting these people. I've never seen in all my 11 years so many buyers who try to finagle partial refunds, or just try to finagle some kind of reimbursement for their so-called aggravation or what have you. It's nonsense. And now with the new rule with eBay with the partial refunds, it's going to get worse. So sellers, basically, start getting a prescription for Xanax, because you're going to be needing it. With all the anxiety that's going to be blown our way with this new stipulation. The bottom feeders will be out and will be in full force. So now basically, I'm here. I'd like to give a shout out again to Crazy New York Driver for inspiring me to be here. I love his videos. He understands what the seller goes through. He knows how we feel, and he does help educate us. He tries to explain to us what we're up against, and we've got to do something, guys. I mean, we really have to get moving on doing something about eBay's roguish rules. If we all band together, hopefully there can be something that can be done. I know we've been, hemming and hawing and complaining for years and whining, like some people say. But there's got to be something that we can do as sellers, to become protected and be respected by eBay. Well, I'm going to sign out now, and I'll be making more videos in the future. And my next videos, I'll be exposing some rogue buyers and explaining some stories about what our sellers are up against. Okay? Alright, well thanks a lot for hanging out with me, D Sasso, and I'll get back to you real soon. Bye now.